and welcome to Flippin Talkos. It's West Sacramento as we see it. I'm Armando Omega.
And I'm Yvonne Scarborough.
And we were supposed to have Chris Palmadesi here today again as our special guest, and he was supposed to be more special this week, but he called us this morning saying that he's a little under the weather, and he is, I think he's in like a quarantine.
Yeah, like a 24-hour quarantine. Yeah.
So get better, brother. And we wanted to have him back because we got such a positive response for him with the ladies 20 to 35 demographic. But hopefully he'll be back again. So this is our second edition, and we had a very enthusiastic response from our first episode. Very surprisingly, wouldn't you say, Yvonne?
Yeah, I was very impressed and shocked, actually, that so many people gave us positive feedback and really liked hearing our podcast. And since it was our first one, we had no idea what kind of response we would get or anyone would even listen. So I have been really happy, and I hope that everyone continues to listen, and we'll try to entertain you each time.
Yeah, and a little bit of honesty here. When we came up with the idea, it really wasn't thought out really that well. And when we put up a Facebook page and a link to our first episode, we saw the numbers basically exceed what we really anticipated. And I kind of knew, and I told you this story, Yvonne, what happened Saturday. I kind of knew maybe we were on something cool when probably one of the more hip city councilmen came up to me and to my kids at the Relay for Life event and said, I need to be on Flippin Talkos in the next 30 days or else. He gave me an or else.
That's pretty good. And I'm flattered that he thinks we're worthy to be on our show.
Yeah, and that he is Chris Ledesma. And yeah, you know, even though he wasn't our first choice for city council people, I decided that maybe we could put, because our first choice was Beverly Sandine.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that was a no-brainer.
She's so cool, and we're so lucky to have her. A fresh rookie on the city council. But, we'll take Chris Ledesma. We can work our way up.
Chris will work.
Yeah, we can definitely, he's a great guy, but then he's a Seattle Seahawks fan. So he's just a really good guy.
Oh, geez.
Ultimately, yeah. But he's a good guy all the way around. So we have our lineup for the next month of Flippin Talkos, and I'm excited that we actually got confirmation from all these people. So next week we will have Mike Costello from YOLO Brew, and it kind of seems like we did a little pub for him last week, and then he's actually one of our sponsors, quote unquote, this week. And next week we'll have him in our studio.
Oh, yeah, as a guest.
So now I've been accused in my circles that bringing Mike in is like a way for me to get a free beer or two.
No.
That is not the case. Like we stated before, our purpose is to be a support group and a champion for all local businesses. Mm-hmm. That said, Mike Costello, if you're listening, growler. Yeah, no, but really, we're gonna have Mike next week, and it'll be fun. So this week we're gonna rewind a little bit because in our first episode we came out and just started talking. Mm-hmm. And we introduced ourselves, but we really didn't introduce ourselves. We didn't tell us we didn't tell you who we were. We didn't tell you what we did, where we live, and all that kind of stuff. So this week, after our news and events, we'll do the Flipping Talkos 6-pack of questions for ourselves. And Chris is going to miss out.
I know, he is.
Yeah, because we allowed him to give us 3 questions of his own to get back from last week, but he's not going to be here. So he can ask us on the side some other day, right?
That's true.
So today is Get to Know Your Host Day. All right? But before we get into the news and events, let's hear about one of the best places to bring your family for some fun here in West Sacramento, Capitol Bowl. Yvonne?
Okay, so anyone who knows Armando knows that he frequents Capitol Bowl quite regularly during his lunch hour, or should I say lunch hours.
Easy.
They are located at 900 West Capitol Avenue here in West Sacramento. And they are freshly renovated, and they offer family fun bowling, birthday and corporate parties. They have glow bowling on the weekends and leagues throughout the week. Along with the renovation, their bar and menu got a makeover as well. They have an extensive bar with great service, and their food is fresh and not your typical bowling alley fare. Go check out Capitol Bowl the next time you want some good family fun.
Right on. I love Capitol Bowl. And Capitol Bowl, I mean, you know when you've frequented a place, when they start knowing your name, they know what you want, what kind of food you want. And they got great salads there. They got pizzas there. And I you know, in speaking with Chris White, one of the owners of Capitol Bowl, you know, she talks about how they like to portray themselves as a place to eat that just happens to have bowling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, and I think if the more and more people understand that the two are separate, that they have chefs there that they make great food, and it's not just, you know, and it definitely isn't like your typical bowling food.
No, and the eating area is really beautiful. It's really nicely set up. It looks like a restaurant.
Yeah. So if you get a chance, go out, spend some time at Capitol Bowl. Again, you may see me there. The leagues are great, and don't be intimidated by some of the leagues, because I belong to the well, they call it the beer league, but there are fun leagues like that league, which is the beer league. Bowling for beers is what it's called. Then they have like the serious league, where you have, you know, the people that go up to these tournaments in Reno and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They play. Those are the serious guys. They walk in with like 8 balls and stuff like that.
Yeah, and they have like trophies and competitions.
Yeah, that's not the type of bowler I am. Even though that I probably should be, because of the amount of time I practice. But so yeah, go see Capitol Bowl. Have some fun down there.
Yeah, it's a great place.
So perfect. Now we have some time for some events and news locally.
Okay, so this past weekend was the Relay for Life, and they made $52,000 and still counting, because they're taking online donations up until August, I believe. And so that is an excellent amount of money. And Armando and I both walked. I walked, I think, 35 laps, which I'm not sure how many miles that is, but I'm going to guess about 6, because I also walked there from my house, which is about a mile away. And how did you do?
Okay, first off, your house is not a mile away.
Yes, it is.
It's about 3 blocks. I walked 50 laps. So it was one of those things where,
brother.
And I apologize to my team, because I wasn't there a whole lot. You know, I came there for 2 hours, and I walked 25 laps, and then I had to go to my sister's anniversary party.
Do you know, I actually heard your team talking about you while I was walking.
Yeah, I'm sure they might.
I heard you. Where's Armando? Where's Armando?
Yeah, I know, and I apologize to them. They worked so hard, and they made a lot of money. They exceeded their goal of $3,000. I think they made like $3,600. But yeah, it's just my schedule was so busy.
Well, you still made up for it though. 50 laps. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, we had a good time, and it was good to see everybody out there. I mean, I was out there. I think it was 12 to 3. And there was tons of people out there, and I was also out there, I believe I got there at 10 or 11 and up until 2 o'clock, and there was still plenty of people on the track.
Oh, yeah, there was.
So walking for the cause. And being someone who has lost someone from cancer, it really is touching to see the people. It's like your team, the people that have known survivors or lost family members. So it is definitely nice to see that people are working towards helping these people out.
Exactly. I agree. Let's see what else is going on. This Thursday, the 26th, is the monthly Dig-In Dinner at the Farmers Market on West Capitol. Broderick's Roadhouse will be providing the delicious food, and the celebrity chef will be our very own Councilman Chris Ledesma. A portion of the proceeds goes to the West Sacramento Foundation, which is something that Armando is a member of. And so if you could tell us a little bit more about what the foundation does.
Well, coincidentally, I just came from a meeting from the board, a board meeting, and we discussed that we're the beneficiaries of this week's Dig-In Dinner. Now, last year, I think I went to like 4 out of the 6 Dig-In Dinners. I haven't been to one yet this year, and this week I'm going to be a volunteer because I'm part of the foundation. And we are the beneficiaries. So I think for every ticket, the ticket is $75 per person. For every ticket that they sell, we get $10 from that. So I think there's like 77 sign up now. So currently we get $770.
That's pretty good.
Dollars, and we hope to get right around 1,000. Hopefully we get 100 to 120 people that come to the Dig-In Dinner this week. Now, one thing cool about this week is Broderick's recently hired Jess. Mm-hmm. He was the chef at the eatery.
Yeah.
One of the owners. So that's all brand new, I guess, over the last week.
Yeah, so, that's great.
Yeah, that's going to be a cool deal. That kind of segues us into talking about the All Charities raffle that I will discuss in later podcasts. But it is a raffle that the West Sacramento Foundation puts on for all of the local nonprofits, churches, and schools to raise some money. And we sell raffle tickets. We come up, as a foundation, we come up with the prizes. And the foundation will give you tickets to sell. So if you're with Our Lady of Grace School or a local baseball team that's a 501(c), they can sell tickets. And for every $10 ticket they sell, you will get $9 back.
Oh, wow.
So it's an amazing fundraiser, and we come up with some great prizes. In fact, I got some of the prizes include like a trip to Hawaii, dinner, or a meal at Whitey's every week for the whole year.
Oh my gosh!
That's crazy. $500 IKEA gift card, one Denny's Grand Slam a week for a year. There's a lot of cool prizes. And so if anybody asks you to buy a raffle ticket, it's you definitely have a chance to win some pretty cool prizes, and it definitely goes back to a good cause. It goes right back to the person selling it for the most part. 90% of that ticket does.
No, that's great. And I wanted to, though, what I was confused about is it says celebrity chef is Chris Ledesma. I wasn't aware that he had culinary skills. Maybe you knew that? I didn't know that.
I wasn't aware he was a celebrity. So, it's kind of a question mark. So, maybe Oscar Villegas was busy that day. I'm just kidding.
We're just kidding.
Actually, Chris, I've been to his house. He does pride himself in his cooking abilities.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whether or not it's good or not, he has a lot of pride.
He's still proud of
very proud of his work.
Well, and that's what's important, right?
Yeah, exactly. First comes the confidence.
Feel good about what you do.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to give also a shout out to the Broderick Christian Center because on my birthday, which was about a few weeks ago, we had heard that there was a shuttle that you could rent, and it took us, me and about 9 people, so 10 of us all together, to Cesar Chavez Park and back, and also little pit stops along the way. And the whole thing only cost us $5 a person. And I wanted to point them out because the money that they make goes to the food closet. They transport seniors during the week. They get people signed up for health insurance. They help the homeless. They help people in recovery. They do a lot of good things for the community, and they're growing. And so I wanted to, if instead of using a taxi, maybe you could consider using their shuttle service. So I just wanted to give them a shout out. And then I wanted to also mention that there's a new business with a very interesting history called the Third Strike Cafe. And no, it's not for convicted felons. It's a new comfort food place on 630 3rd Street. And they are huge River Cat supporters. So Armando, are you aware of the Third Strike Cafe's history?
I am. Not only the history, but also they just happen to be patients/clients of mine. And I've known them through their whole process of trying to get this thing open. And it's taken a while, a little longer than they thought, but they're very happy with how everything turned out and everybody's excitement for the Third Strike Cafe. Now, this house, if I remember right, and you can find out online, I believe it's www.thirdstrike rivercafe.com. If you go online, you can find out the actual history with the names and everything. But basically, this house was bought, I think, in the early 30s by a Filipino immigrant, and it's been in the family this whole time. And they decided that they wanted to open up this cafe, and it's in a perfect location as far as in the morning for coffee and Danishes and stuff like that. They have for the people who work at Stirs, the people who work at the Ziggurat. I think that's DGS for the state of California. It's an ideal location. And then for now, they're open on game days. Whenever the Rivercats have a night game, they're open, and they have a pretty. Sounds pretty good. Their barbecue menu sounds really, really good. In fact, on the 26th, I think it's this Thursday, they're going to have a meetup. I think there's what they call a meetup. I think that's a thing that they have. But for the city of Sacramento to meet up there before the game, and they're hoping to have a good turnout there. So go check them out. Go try the barbecue. They have some pretty good barbecue selections, but also have their whole thing is barbecue and mac and cheese.
Yeah.
And they have these different flavored mac and cheese.
They have special mac and cheese on the nights or the days that Rivercats play, a special menu that has, it sounds like the macaroni and cheese is really good.
Yeah. Well, they say it's good. I want to try it, so I'll probably be there, probably not this Thursday because we're doing the dig-in, but maybe Friday night for their night game.
Yeah. Okay, so local kids in the news. 2 of our 2014 graduates from River City High School have some accomplishments that we felt deserved to be mentioned. So first is Sufia Mahmood, I hope I'm saying her name right, who got a full ride scholarship to Harvard. This is so amazing, and her family must be so proud of her. Her long-term goal is to be a pediatric oncologist. So how great is that to have a daughter who gets into Harvard and also wants to be a pediatric oncologist? I think that's great.
Well, it says a lot about parenting and where they kind of set her up to succeed and kind of, what her mindset is to go ahead. Pediatric oncologist isn't a glamour job by any means, but it definitely is one of those things where, you're helping the most in need as far as, kids with cancer. So it's pretty amazing to have this girl come out of River City, and we should all be proud of her coming out of West Sacramento.
Yeah, exactly. Because when I was a senior in high school, I think my deepest thought was, I really like donuts. I'm just kidding. Okay, so next is Kevin Burkus.
I'd say Burks.
Burks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I hope whichever one of us said it right. He will be going to the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado. Kevin is also a multi-talented athlete who played several sports while at River City, and his ultimate goal is to be a fighter pilot, which that is so cool.
He's that much closer to becoming a fighter pilot than, I can remember saying that when I was in kindergarten. Along with, I want to be a fighter pilot. Oh, I want to be a fireman.
Yeah.
But he's that much closer to becoming what he wants to be. And, it really shows, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. It kind of shows, you work hard in high school and you set a standard for yourself, and gives you so much more options as you grow older. So what I'm saying is letting the cat out of the bag. We're actually going to have Rick Hart come in, and we're going to talk a little bit about parenting and how he did it, because he has 2 kids that have done phenomenal as far as he graduated from Notre Dame, and then one's going into a school called Pomona, one of the toughest schools to get into here in California. So I look forward to interviewing him, getting his Flippin Talkos 6-pack, and learning a little bit and maybe taking in some notes.
Exactly.
But these kids, like Kevin and Sophia, they're special. But I think a lot of it has to do, it starts with parenting and that too.
I would agree, and I have asked Rick myself what his secret was, and maybe he'll share that again with us.
Nice. Well, I look forward to it.
Okay, what do we have? So that's it for the news. What do we have next?
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about YOLO Brew again. I know we talked about last week, but today he's our sponsor. So let's, Yvonne, let's talk about that.
Okay, so have you been to YOLO Brew yet? Do you like great food and craft beer tastes better when you know how it was prepared? At YOLO Brewing Company, every beer we make is handcrafted. You can select one of our small batch beers or create a brew of your own, starting with one of 170 recipes. Either way, you'll experience local, fresh, flavorful craft beers in a new way. So visit our brewery, enjoy a flight of beers at the tasting counter, hang with friends on the beer dock, or craft your own custom ale or lager. Live life to the fullest. Raise your glass higher. Visit YOLO Brew at 1520 Terminal Street here in West Sacramento. Follow them and like them on Facebook, or check them out at www.yolobrew.com.
And tie into another local story. YOLO Brew is actually located at one of Tony Fine Foods' first warehouses.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and Tony Fine Foods, a local business, just sold for $192 million.
Wow.
Yeah, and just to think that they started in that little building that Mike's in right now, and I bet Mike is thinking, I hope I sell mine for $192 million. No. But it's a pretty cool story out of West Sacramento to have a company sell like that and have their roots here in West Sacramento.
No, that's really cool. And also, YOLO Brew has generously donated some items to give away, and I thought, Armando, you could talk about the giveaway that we're planning.
Yes. Mike Costello gave us 2 pint glasses, a wrench-style bottle opener, and a T-shirt. And so what you need to do, if you'd like to try to win one of these things, is go to our Twitter page at Flippin Talkos and hashtag YOLO Brew. And we'll put you in a drawing to win this little gift pack.
Yeah, that'd be a great thing to win.
I'll also put this on our Facebook so you know where to go, but I won't put the hashtag. So that's going to be important to listen for you listeners out there to try to win this thing. All right, so now it's time for this week's Flippin Taco 6-pack of questions. And as we discussed before, we will give each other 3 questions in hopes that you can get a better idea of who your hosts are. Again, this is for this week. You get to know us, and then from now on, we'll just focus on our guests. So Yvonne opted to go first and ask me some questions.
Okay, so Armando, you live and work in West Sacramento, so tell us about that.
Yes, I'm very fortunate that my commute is about 8 minutes. My wife, Mia, and I moved to West Sacramento in 2001. And then when my daughter was born, I had a chiropractic practice in Vacaville. So when my daughter was born in 2003, I decided to sell that practice and start a new one up here. And ever since then, I've loved the city of West Sacramento. I've become very involved in the city. And met a lot of nice people, and very happy with our decision to set our roots here.
I would agree that you're very involved, and I consider you, and I think a few other people do too, like the unofficial mayor of West Sac, because you know so many people here. I know we can't go anywhere with you without you running into about 50 people that you know. So most of you...
Well, don't tell the mayor that, because he'll be...
Well, that's why unofficial, but yeah. Anyway, and also, why did you move? Why did you choose West Sacramento?
To be quite honest with you, me and I were newly married, and we didn't know really about buying a house. We just knew that in West Sacramento, we could get a nice house for something that we can afford.
Right, yeah.
And so we found it. We found what we thought was the perfect house, and we thought it was too big, 1,600 square foot little house, and we loved that house. And then when, as the family gets a little bigger, you want something bigger. But, even though we moved a little bit in West Sacramento, we've loved every place we've stayed.
Yeah, I know Armando and I have lived in the same model house twice already, and we also moved into the first one and thought it was too big also, because when there's just two of you and there's this 1,600 square foot house, it seems like a lot. Okay, so you are a chiropractor. Tell us a little bit about what you do and why you do it.
Well, the why is I got into chiropractic because of my sister. My oldest sister is a chiropractor, and she got me into it. Now, there's 8 of us. So my oldest sister is about 14 years older than me. Wow. So when I was in 9th grade, she already had her practice going.
Oh, okay.
And so she would come home or to my parents' house and tell me all these cool stories about the people she's helped. And for not the same reasons most people think about chiropractic, it's more wellness-based, more function-based, not like, back pain, neck pain, headaches. We're really good at that. We're really good at helping people with that. But some of the stuff she was seeing, kids with ear infections, elderly patients that have lost the control of their bladder, and them getting adjustments and actually regaining that control. And to me, that was like the most powerful story because you're actually affecting people's livelihood and their confidence. And, so I was hooked from day one.
Oh, wow.
So when I graduated high school, I pretty much knew what I wanted to do. And the counselor at the first college I went to, he told me, I said, I want to be either a chiropractor or a sportscaster. And he said, let's go chiropractic. So I was chiropractic ever since. And, what I do in my office, we do functional-based treatments on the spine and other parts of the body. But we also give people ideas on how to improve their function, depending on what they do for a living, depending on the types of foods they eat or the types of exercises. So it's not a cookie-cutter approach in my office. We take what the person gives us and we try to give them a plan to get them better faster and make them working better. Overall, we focus on the spine, but the main thing is the spine houses the nervous system, and the nervous system controls all parts of the body. And when we adjust the spine, when it's out of alignment, it's not functioning like it should, we get the nervous system functioning like it should. And to me, that's the most powerful part of chiropractic. And the side benefits are that people feel good when they're done.
Right. No, I wanted to say, before I met you, thought that you went to see a chiropractor when you had pulled something in your back, or I didn't realize all of that, what you just said, that you affect all that. So that is really cool.
Yeah, it's the fun part. It's like when you see kids with ear infections and stuff like that normally would take medicine for that, and we get them better without medicine faster.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the more, for me, the more, it's something that makes me come to work.
Yeah, it's really rewarding.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you were part of the Rotary Club of West Sacramento and now the West Sacramento Foundation, which you talked about earlier. Do you enjoy being a part of these types of organizations, or is it good for your business?
I like doing it because of the service aspect of it, helping people that can't normally get that help.
Right.
That's kind of the theme, and it's something hopefully that I can share with my kids. In fact, I was telling you today that my son Cole asked me today, when are we doing Meals on Wheels? And he's come to do Meals on Wheels with me. My daughter has done Meals on Wheels, and it's just something that we do, and hopefully it's a way that we can show them that that's how you give back, and it's something that hopefully I can ingrain into my family. But it definitely is something, since we have so many blessings now, that we just try to give back at that point. And it has helped me meet a lot of people, and has probably helped my business. But that's kind of secondary to why we do it.
Yeah, no, I know you do a lot of community service. You're always involved in some community event or donating or volunteering your time.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. I hope that helped you kind of get a glimpse of the man who is Armando Omega.
Now we will learn about Yvonne Scarborough. So, you are a school counselor, Yvonne. What inspired you to choose this profession?
Okay, well, it started with, I think education is very important, and I think everyone deserves an education and should be educated in order to be a contributing member of society. We all have that need to learn all the basics, reading, writing, math, etc. And when I was in high school, I felt like my own counselors were not very encouraging. I would talk about colleges I was applying to, and they would pat me on the back and say, "Oh, that's nice." And I don't know why, but I felt like I wasn't being encouraged. So I wanted to be encouraging to young people. So that's basically why I chose that.
Nice. Now, you currently work in elementary school. Now, do you like working with little ones, or have you ever worked at high school level or middle school?
Yes, I've worked at all levels, and at first, high school is where I thought I wanted to be. And then when I kept falling into elementary school positions, and what I ended up noticing is that you need to learn coping skills early on, not when you're 15 and 16 and you're already, angry about things, or you sometimes you can get into the system, the juvenile system. And so I realized helping kids early on, like kindergarten, first grade, second grade, if you learn to cope with your stress earlier, then hopefully you take those skills with you for the rest of your life, because I thought we teach kids how to read, we teach kids how to write, they, hopefully remember forever. So why not teach coping, so that early on when you learn that, it gets kind of hardwired into your brain, so that when you're under extremely stressful situations, or just mildly stressful, like all of us get into, that you have some tools in your back pocket, or, whatever. So.
Well, I think it's important, like you were saying, I think of it as a ship. When a kid is not guided in the right direction, they're all over the place. So you are kind of you're guiding them in rough waters, basically. Because oftentimes I can only imagine that you see, worst case scenario. People that are, have both parents at home, or, they don't have any issues at home. You probably don't see them. You probably see the ones that have some issues. So that can be rewarding in itself, because you're trying to help them through these rough waters. And I know that you get a lot of positive feedback from not only their teachers, but also from them, and that really makes a difference.
Yeah, I think it's the greatest job in the world. And sometimes I always joke and say, sometimes I can't believe I get paid for doing this, and then other times I don't think I get paid enough. So
isn't that the truth for most things? All right. Now, how long have you lived here in West Sacramento, and what type of activities are you and your family involved with here in town?
We moved here in 2002, and kind of for the same reasons. We were looking around, and my family's in the Dixon area, so I wanted to be kind of on that side of Sacramento, closer to that area. And we had some friends that moved into West Sac and said it was really affordable. And so we realized that was the case. And so we moved here, and at first I was kind of lonely because I didn't know anybody, but once you start having kids, that all changes. And so, we do things like Little League and volleyball and karate. So we're kind of invested into the local businesses that provide those kinds of things. And we really like it. And each year goes by, we get to know more and more people. So I really enjoyed living here. So
I think that whole concept you said at the end, where you just meet more and more people, has allowed what we talked about, the surprise of us doing this and actually having people call you at home and saying, this was a great idea, people that you haven't heard from in a while. So, again, that whole community aspect of kind of reaching out and being part of this community is one of the driving forces of us doing this, right? So, it kind of goes hand in hand with what your answer for that last question, but also, we're kind of trying to find different ways to be able to reach other people and kind of share what's going on in West Sacramento through the businesses, events, and other things. All right. Well, let's see. I think that might be it. Well, that's not a horrible transition for that song. Well, this is the most likely the last time that you'll hear us talk exclusively about ourselves. Now, we are dedicated to sharing with you, our future guests, people who we believe help make West Sacramento what it is and what it will become. So that's it for now. For Yvonne Scarborough, this is Armando Omega. And Chris Pomadesi, please get better, brother. And until next time, be well and have a great week.